Good to have you here. Myself, I'm a mother, so I'm very excited for this conversation.
Yeah.
How can parents support early childhood development in the first years of a child's life? And also, how important is this stage?
So, parents first need to understand what early childhood development is. Like, maybe if people hear the term, they might think, I don't know what that is. It's basically the age from birth to around 8 years old.
Yes.
And it refers to a child's physical development, emotional intelligence, so how they're able to socialize, their cognitive skills, how they're able to do things like cutting, fine motor skills. If parents understand that, then they're able to know what to do. With like the physical, you should need to feed your child.
Yes.
You're talking about nutrition, you're talking about exercise. When it comes to cognitive, you want to make sure that your child is able to understand well, to problem solve. Many of us concentrate on only the classroom, but there's a lot more that goes into building a child's cognitive skills and problem solving skills that's outside the classroom. When it comes to things like socializing, you want to make sure that your child can play well with other children,
yes,
understands how to relate with elders, understands how to be in society. All that is early childhood development. Those first 0 to 8 are extremely important because the brain is developing very fast, and the brain is mapping how you're going to be, how you're going to, the things you're going to do. And when you get, if you're able to do this well with your child in these years, you have set them up for life, because those are skills they're going to need later in life to succeed. You don't know the career your child is going to their career path. You don't know how they're going to be in society. If you get it right, you've given them the skills to figure it out as they go.
Yes.
So it's extremely, extremely important. If you understand what it is, you will feed your child well. You make sure they have exercise. You make sure you're reading to your children. You make sure they're socializing well. You make sure, that is early childhood development. It's not complicated. Once people understand it, then they can do the work with their children.
Absolutely. Yeah. Now, as an author of child development novels, what exactly inspired your journey? Is it your father? Because I know your father is a good storyteller.
Yes. So, my father is a good storyteller.
Yes.
His father was an even better storyteller.
Oh, wow.
I come from a line of storytellers on both sides, actually. My aunts, the books that I'm going to share with you about, actually most stories were told to me by my dad's sisters and brothers.
Yes.
Yeah, and my dad was also there listening, really intrigued, because he's a good storyteller, but I think he was also quite impressed by his own. So I come from a line of storytellers on both sides. Yeah, so that I first got into this world of books when I was pregnant with my first child.
Oh, nice.
And I was thinking, what am I going to tell him? So I remember one day I went into a bookshop and I was like, what books am I going to read? When you're like about 5 months pregnant and now you're starting to prepare.
And as a first-time mom.
And as a first-time mom, you buy the whole world. So I went into this, and I remember I bought a big, thick Winnie the Pooh book.
Yes.
Like with many stories. They're like 5-minute daily stories.
Yes.
And I bought this book, and I remember thinking to myself, where are the Ugandan stories? The ones that I grew up listening to. So I sat there and I tried to remember a story, and I remember thinking, I was singing a song, Furora, 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 Omurunji Wanjingo. Furora. You know that story, right?
Yeah.
So and then I remember thinking, but Flora is not an African name. So I'm like, I must be missing something. And that's what made me think, let me go talk to somebody about this. And I asked my dad, I sang the song, and he was like, Furora? Like, Flora is not. So then when I told my aunts, and they're like, no, you want Nzima and Nzinzi, and I was like, what? Who is that? Then I agreed with them. We sat down. They told me the stories. I recorded them. I wrote my first story and shared it with a couple of friends who are also moms. They all wanted them. And then it gave me the idea, let me illustrate this story.
Let me do more.
Yeah. So I reached out to my friend Jonathan Kajimba. We went to primary school together, so I had seen his work online. So I reached out and said, Jonathan, can you illustrate this for me? It was supposed to be something I was going to share with just a couple of moms in my circle.
Yes.
But the response was so good that I decided, okay, let me make a book. So I published my first 2 books, Nyamurunga and Nyantahi. The response was even better. and now I've published 5 books.
Wow, amazing. Well done, Rhona. This is really like amazing, yeah?
Yeah.
But how do you keep your passion alive in a country like Uganda, where the reading culture is pretty much low? People really are not into reading like that. Some, or if not most, of the population.
No, I understand that, because I understand why it's low. Because most of us, we started reading for school.
Yeah.
We were reading to pass exams. And it's just how it was, right? And as the new generation of parents, though, wants to make a difference. So that's why I think you're saying that some are doing it, but it's not yet there.
Yeah.
But there are also other parents who are also like, you need to pass. It's P7, it's S4. So they're not really trying to get their kids to learn reading. So like for me, I'm focusing on, the thing in my mind is I don't know what the future for my children will be.
Yes.
The world is changing so fast. AI is coming. We don't know what jobs are going to look like.
We're Gen Z moms.
Yes, we're Gen Z. What I want to do for my kids is to equip them with the skills that they can then use in the future. So that's what keeps me going. I know that reading to children is so important. It gives them problem-solving skills. You're able to discuss emotions in a safe environment. You're able to bond with your children. All these are important skills for the future. So that's what I concentrate on. I concentrate on that. I tell every parent that I can. It's practically a message I have started to preach.
Yes.
So while the numbers are low for some, in the general public, I think the newer parents are very intentional.
Very much.
And I think we're going to see a change in this. Even the teachers, I'm now doing a book tour for my books. I've been in a couple of schools. Teachers are very intentional about getting children to love reading, independent of classwork.
Yes.
So I think we're going to see a shift very, very soon. Like in this generation, we're going to see a shift.
Absolutely.
It's slow, but it's going to get better.
It's going to be there.
Yeah.
I know you've hinted about how your books really support children, but how do they enhance the relationship between the children and their parents?
Wow, the bonding aspect of it. I want you to imagine this. When you were younger,
yes,
and did somebody tell you a traditional story?
Oh yes, my mom had a lot of stories.
Exactly. In that moment when they were telling you the story, you were attentive. They were also, your parent was not being maybe authoritative. They calmed down. They were being funny. So you were able to bond with your parent in a way that you're like your friends, right? Your parent becomes a different person. That is what reading out loud to your children does for you. It gives you a moment when you're reading, you are just reading to your child.
Yeah.
And if you're reading like not mechanically, you're reading, you're dramatizing, you're emphasizing here, you're singing a song,
you're touching into the imaginative.
Exactly.
Yes,
you release these hormones within yourself and within your child that will make you bond, that make you happy. You're in a happy place.
Yeah.
That's what reading does. It really will make you bond with your child. Your child doesn't see you maybe if you're a person who is always stressed or you're always at work. In this moment, you're present.
Absolutely.
You're present with your child in the moment. You will bond indifferently. Your child, if you encourage your children to ask you questions, they will ask you the most interesting questions. And in that moment, you're just reading to your child.
Yeah.
That makes you bond. You'll talk about every other thing. And next thing you know, you have a better relationship with your child. Yeah.
Now, I'm glad you hinted on the aspect of sitting down with our parents and them telling us stories. But over time, that trend is dying down.
Yeah.
Do you think written storytelling could perhaps preserve that or bring it back or even make it better?
Yeah, that's actually the other aspect of the work that I do.
Yes.
Preserving traditional cultural, preserving the traditional stories.
Yes.
Because in my experience, I had forgotten many of these stories, and I'm not the only one. When you read a book like, let me show you, when you read a book like Warukoko and the Magical Singing Sack, you remember it. You're not going to forget it. If you keep the book, your child will remember it, you know? That's the good thing. We end up preserving for future generations because it's in print, because it's online, because it's on YouTube. We are now going to preserve our own culture in a way that's modern and for the future, right? So yeah, it does help in the preservation, yes.
Do you think there are any other alternative methods that can be used to strengthen early childhood development, minus kids enrolling in pre-primary schools? Because you hinted on how parents these days are really, really intentional, taking their children to pre-primary schools and all that. Do you think there are any other alternative methods that parents can use to strengthen the early childhood development of their children?
I think it's presence. For me, at least I think parents being more present with their children is a game changer.
Yeah.
And I mean be present. Let the children get off the phones. Let them put the iPads down, switch off the TV. Be present. Take your children out, play with them. It's the only time your children are not on screens should not be when they're in the kindergarten, when they're in the preschool, when they're in primary school, even at home. Be present with your children. Come home early. Be there, talk with them, laugh with them, strip off all the armor, and just enjoy your children. You will end up teaching your children and nurturing them in a way that will really change their lives. You will nurture them emotionally, you will nurture them physically, you will be able to see where your child has weaknesses. And this is something that I would encourage parents not to delegate to the housemaid or not to delegate to somebody else. As much as you can afford it, be present and physically present. Put your phone down and be with your child. For those of us who have toddlers, be on the floor. Be with them on the floor. Bedtime, read to them. Let them, encourage them to talk to you. Encourage them to express themselves. You are nurturing a child in more ways than you can even imagine. Because
I think many parents are used to speaking to children in the babyish language, which doesn't really help them. Speak to them like you're speaking to a grown person, because that's how they better their skills.
Exactly. Speech, they develop language skills, communication skills. I think you've seen their children that you meet, and a child is talking to you and you're taken back because this child's they're smart, they're confident, they're owning themselves, they're able to communicate, they know how to be polite, they know how to express their opinion, they know how to ask you a question to challenge you. Then you'll meet another child who can't even say anything. When you say, how are you? I'm fine, thank you.
And that is it.
And that is it. When you're present with your child, when you're there, you're doing the reading, you're doing the talking, you're eating, you're encouraging, you're like, let's go out and play. You're playing with your child. You are going to encourage your child to simply be who they are. And they will be a beautiful soul. The real them will emerge. And that's what you need for an adult who is going to be confident and change the world.
Okay, now as we wind up, let's get to the best part in just a few minutes, maybe one or two. Walk us through the books that you brought to studio.
Yes, so I have published 5 children's books. All the books are based on folklore, our Ugandan traditional stories. They have songs in them. The message is clear. So, for example, I have Warkoko and the Magical Singing Sack. This book basically discusses things like greed and tries to encourage children to be content, to be happy with who they are. And we're using, these are very important lessons to teach a child. We're using traditional stories to do that. And then here I have Ruhondeza, the sleepy giant. Many people from Western Uganda know the Ruhondeza story.
You probably wake up at 8 a.m., 9 a.m. there.
And when I was writing this book, I was actually particularly thinking about children who don't get off their screens, who don't leave the house. And this book takes Ruhondeza on an adventure where back in the day he would have slept all day. It takes him on an adventure where he tries new things. It's a book that's trying to say, get out there, try new things. Explore. You will learn something new, you will have fun. So you read Ruhondeza and find out how Ruhondeza discovers, something new.
Adventurous Ruhondeza.
He's no longer so sleepy, he's now adventurous, So here then I have Nzima and Nzinzi. This is a story of sisters who love each other, but then their love is tested by different people, different circumstances. It's how they're able to pull through, to overcome. It's a story of loyalty, of friendship, of sisterly love, no competition, none of that. And I was also trying to, in this particular story, to encourage girls particularly to love the body that they're built in. So that's a theme I also explore in this book.
That's nice.
Then this is Nyamurunga. This is one of our best sellers actually to date. It's Nyamurunga, the beautiful loyal friend. Nyamurunga is a little bird, for those who know what a Nyamurunga is. And this teaches children to be loyal, to be friendly, to be good friends. And you were using, again, traditional stories to teach all these principles. Finally, Nyantahi, the fearless warrior. This is one of my favorite books, actually. It teaches children to believe in themselves, to have courage, to face their fears. And we discuss, in this particular book, we discuss a topic, like serious topics in a child-friendly way. So it's a safe environment for a parent to discuss fear and courage and bravery with their children. And again, all using our normal Ugandan traditional stories.
You've heard it from Rhona Rwangyezi Grimm. She is an author on early childhood development, especially here in Uganda. Thank you for bringing those amazing books here.
Thank you,
and also, I like
Priva.
that you use a lot of African art. It's more of reflective of who we are as a people, instead of just us reading things that are all the time always foreign.
Exactly.
Thank you so much for making time. Morning at 10 TV takes a very short break. We return in just a little bit.